This looks a little better right here. Maybe. I'd rather tap into, yeah, please do this and push back out over here. I think I like MES better. I know I said MAQ might look better. That was just right at the time. Now this is doing what I wanted to do, which it didn't tap into there. I know we have this other gap here too, but I didn't want to, again, I don't like when we close like into it like this or like that. I don't want to retrace out of something like that. And this is looking sketch. See, all the time frames, high time frames, are in an uptrend. We do have those, we have a 4-hour gap here. It's being tapped into again. This was inverse, so I wasn't too worried about that. Small gap here. It was not inversed, and then as well something not inverse over here. But I was more so focused on following the trend versus worrying about those gaps. But I'm not completely just disregarding them 100%. I'm not doing that. I am looking at them though, because if we can disrespect them, which we've already done on, again, like this one here, then I'd be open to the long. And plus, I'm just not doing a bear trade today. There's absolutely no way. I'm not waiting for it to come all the way down here, and it might not do that anyway. So I just might not be able to trade. It just might be a no trade day, is how it'll go probably. Unless we can have proper price action here, respect, move down, move up. So we didn't break that low there. That is a bullish candle, believe it or not. If you look at the sheet here, this would be 246.2, and nice bullish candle push right to here. And that would be 3. I could do 4 on that. Which I believe
Order filled. Order filled.
Go. Yeah, 1023. MES. What? What gap did it inverse? Me too. Of course, after enter on MES, M&Q movement looks better, which is fantastic. But alright. M&Q is really good movement, honestly. MES will fall through though, it's all good. If you actually kind of zoom out, it's actually having decent movement. It's like, mm. Yeah. Now I have the opportunity to, but honestly, I don't want to sell myself short. I'd rather trust myself. At least for just now. Once I get to a certain price, I'm going to be break even very shortly, but I'm waiting just a little bit longer here. What news is coming out? Okay, so it was on like the actual news, it wasn't on like the apps or the chart or anything like that? Alright. Alright, I did it though. I did it. So are you still are you trailing or something, or? Oh, that's what you had said, yeah. Risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, the past 2 days have been shitty as fuck. MNQ too would have been nasty. It really had pretty good movement. MES is having okay movement now. Honestly, if you kind of zoom out and look at it, it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, I'm talking once I was in. It had some shittier movement, I guess, prior or like right after I entered. It was a little weird, but it's starting to level out. Yeah, 25,430. Yeah, MNQ is pretty nasty, honestly. It's pretty sick movement there. Alright, yes sir. M&Q is definitely a good play for sure. MES is gonna work out too. That's my feeling for sure. I'm confident it'll work out. But M&Q is also very nasty. Maybe some good thing to be, to be realistic, the only thing I would be somewhat concerned about, but I know it's gonna do it, is there's nothing really above here, very prominent, but we do have stuff here, so MES should wanna, gravitate towards these, even though there's nothing up here, and there actually might be, hold on. I mean, you know, there is stuff there, it's just, it's a bit out of the way, like there's some, was this Newick opening gap, I believe? No. That might be. What was this? 16? Some fair value gap stuff. There's stuff there. And again, definitely stuff here, that's why I was saying it should wanna gravitate towards it, so I'm really not too concerned. This already hit both, it should push a little higher, helping this push to where it needs to go. We'll probably take this the next couple candles or so. So that's what I'm not hoping on, and should respect continuation if it's good price action. I didn't want these highs to be taken and then have it find a reason to wanna sweep this and then push back down and not take this, at least this out, but I still don't believe that's gonna do that. I believe we're still taking this. We've had our retrace, let's push back up now. I think we even got, no. And honestly, we're gonna do this. I'm not waiting all day long. Well, okay, hold on. if it takes this, it might want to shoot up higher. Hold on, let me just see what starts to happen here. We'll leave it there for a second, because then I'm going to end up moving this up anyway. We can secure some more. It's all you, bro. Right here. That is all you, player. Playa. Right here. Where would 250 be at? That'd be pretty close up there. Proper continuation. Price action. Go ahead and go do it. Just go fucking take that out. You got it, you got it, you got it. And then we'll take this out, we'll move this up, and we'll just leave it, shoot for the stars. You got
Order
it.
filled.
There you go. Alright, so what's that so far? Alright, I'm gonna move that up a little bit right there. Roughly. And then like I was saying, we'll just shoot for whatever. Just go ahead and keep chugging along. We have anything else up here? it's all that stuff that's light years away, like I was saying. We won't worry about that. We just go take all of this out. You know you want to. Go ahead, you know you want to. Take this fucker out. Just do it. Good risk reward for today. We stayed above 1 to 1.3 and just a hair shy of 1 to 1.5, so it's alright, that's perfect. It's right in the sweet spot. trailing 1. 282.41. And then 304.91 for fucking tie. Shit. Fuck. Alright, yes sir. Dude, take this hourly high already. For Christ's sake. Do it right here in this candle. Stop playing around. Go ahead. Take it. You couldn't be closer. Okay. You're fucking 7 ticks away. A little bit more now because you're fucking dropping. Take that shit, dude. What the fuck? It's got a mind of its own. Little chappy right here. It knows it wants to. It knows it wants to. Come on, bro. You're literally 12 ticks away. Oh. Dude, holy consolidation. Fucking chopping, dude. It's a goddamn barcode. Wah, 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 wah. it's doing right now is trying to break out of a really shitty downtrend. It's fucking hell of a downtrend. Jesus, dude. You can't make that shit up. It'll look a lot better if we respect this and push out of it. Got a minute and 40 seconds to not inverse this. I do not want this to be inversed. I already knew we were getting overextended with this move. So when we had another, where was the other 5-minute retrace? Well, that was what got us back above our entry. Then don't suspect it to come all the way up here, but I at least wanted it to come to here, and it was just fucking playing games up here, just fucking bullshit. Well, it looks like we're inversing it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, it's gonna hit it.
Order filled.
Okay. No positions. Good. Okay, so basically give a little overview as to why I was bullish for the day. So let's take it back to the 4 hour. So first of all, with these two candles here, we're in a uptrend, okay, on the 4 hours. That's one thing. So trend overall, the higher time frame is an uptrend with these closes, okay. That's one. Number two, along with it being in an uptrend, our draws and the range are much closer, and these are stacked highs, so this was good. It somehow or another, and it'll probably take these throughout the day. I just wasn't able to be in to get the rest of these. These are all stacked. I'm sure it'll come up and try and take some more. I'm very surprised it didn't take this. Well, I take that back. I'm not very surprised. It happens. There's plenty of times where the candles will come up right to your next draw on liquidity, and it'll just fucking shoot back down in the opposite direction. That's the way it goes sometimes. But anyway, so uptrend, draws looked good. Okay. 1 hour, same thing. Okay. We're in an uptrend. Alright. And we took out quite a bit of not too much, I lie. We did take out some though. Took out trend liquidity. We got a high here, a high here, a high here. Inversed a gap, and on here, kind of the same thing. Took out a high, took out a high, took out a high in one candle. Inversed two gaps right here that were stacked up. Your best bet would be to believe that it's going to want to take out some more highs after this type of movement. Now, what I was also paying attention to, like I mentioned earlier, that could have been a problem was this here. So it's a very tiny gap, but it is a gap nonetheless. Okay, so actually this was inverse, so that also helped play into my bias, okay? It doesn't look like it is when you look at it like that. When you zoom in, it did inverse it, okay? So that, before I go to the things that I was concerned about, that actually helped, okay? What was the other thing that helped here? Okay, well, we did have an inverse as well here during this. Alright. And I know there was another inverse. I know I talked about this, that inverse those two. I think there was another, well, that one, okay, and then it was, right. So now going to what I was, possibly paying attention to as a way to not take a trade, to maybe stay out. So, right here, excuse me, right here, we're not above this yet. But again, there's like, when you look at so many things that are in your favor and then you have something like this and you're like, oh, okay, it's just maybe one or two things. Overall, your bias is stronger to be bullish and to push to these highs. Because then if I wanted to really be technical and give you every example possible, we inverse the gap here as well, and we inverse the gap here as well. So there's a lot more that just pointed to the upside, so that's why wasn't too concerned about this. And then again, not only did we inverse this one and this one, okay, these gaps here, we also did the same thing right here. So there was a lot that was going on. And this is all confirmation, okay? Inversing a fair value gap is all confirmation. So, and then one of the only other things that, besides this here that I showed, is, at one point with this candle, we were tapping into this, possibly wanting to reverse, and continue with this high time frame bearish for value gap, have continuation back to the downside. I was just more, I felt stronger that wasn't going to be the case. We did end up, we haven't inversed it. We have 2 hours, 48 minutes, some change. But I believe it probably will. Either way, the pressure was there when I was in the trade. Because if it would have been, if it would have been a black bearish candle and it would have been anywhere back down in this region, I wouldn't have taken it. And it's easy to spot that even on the 1 minute, because if the 4 hour time frame was down here in this region at the time of my trade, that means that the 1 minute when I entered wouldn't have come back up. You would have seen it, it would have just kept falling. And so at the time it started to push back up, this as well, because this at one point came to this low. It came, at one point this candle was down to 68.72.75 as far as price. Right there. So at one point it was all the way down here. As I entered and I'm looking at it, it was not in that area. It was pushing back up. So I was more confident that we would go back through this gap and try and actually inverse it, because we already tapped into it way over here. But I was just more confident, like, okay, we're gonna actually go have a movement above it, go take these highs, these draws up here, and maybe not respect it, and we just inverse it. So with that being said, that's pretty much all it was. Trying to think if there's anything else. And then let me check the time of it. What was this? So in between these two candles here, okay, another thing that helped me is I looked at, before entering. Pretty sure I remember I did this in this recording. We'll see in the recording. At the time of entering, so again between the 10:20 and then 10:25 5-minute candle, I entered at 10:23. Let's just triple check that again. Yeah. So 5-minute followed my, it was in an uptrend, which is good. You don't want to, you don't want a massive downtrend while you're trying to enter on a long on the 1 minute. So this followed my buys. We had continuation, tapped into here, and then finally really pushed out of it about here and here, which was right at the time I was entering, so that helped. That was good. And nothing continuation wise as I was entering on the 15, but definitely in an uptrend, which was something I wanted to see as well. So between these two, these matched up. The 5 and the 15 showed a good sign to match up with my 1 minute, as well as the 1 hour and the 4 hour did, which was, the whole way I got my bias, really. The 1 hour and the 4 hour is how I get the bias, and then I use the help of the 5 and the 15 to really enter and finalize my thought on entering. So this was the trade for the day. A 1 to 1.45. Perfect sweet spot for what we like for risk to reward. Again, the minimum is 1 to 1.3 for us, and minimum. And then what we truly like, the really good sweet spot is 1 to 1.5. But this is, like I said, just shy of that. So totally acceptable for us. Yeah. So this is the trade. Entered off of this continuation here, this gap. We were in an uptrend. Yeah, we stayed in an uptrend here. Even though we came back down and had this retrace into this, we stayed in an uptrend. We never broke the most recent low, so that's good. Followed the trend even on the 1 minute. 1 minute uptrend with 1 minute bullish continuation. Entered about, I want to say, again, it'll be in the recording. Entered, I want to say, 4 to 5 seconds before this candle closed on 10:23, but nonetheless, I was in at 10:23, pretty much. And came back down. Luckily, respected it again instead of invalidating it, and you can see it pushed up. Took out previous day high that I had marked up. And we were very, very, very close to, and I mean close, 2 ticks away from the 1 hour. But that doesn't change much about how my day would have played out. If it would have hit this, it wouldn't have played out much different. It probably would have done the same thing. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm out, done for the day. It's not a problem. Now, in case you missed what this was, this gap here in the middle, in case you missed what that was, I'll show you. I was using that as a final hope here to see if I was either going to be stopped out or possibly have some more continuation to take out these other draws. This was on the 5 minute that I had drawn up the gap. It of course inversed it right here with this candle, 11 o'clock. So, and then following that, this shot down took me out. It just looks a little funky when you have it marked up on the 5 and you're on the 1 minute. So, and it inversed on the 1 minute at 11:02. But the true inverse, since it's a 5 minute gap, I don't want to confuse you. It is 11, okay? It inversed it at exactly 11 when this candle closed. So, truth be told, that's why you look on the proper time frame, you have your gap drawn up, because if you were to look on the 1 minute with a 5 minute gap, this 11 o'clock candle, you would think, oh, it didn't close below it, or it didn't inverse it. It did, right here. Because 11 o'clock on here is this candle, and 11 o'clock on the 1 minute is this bad boy right there, okay? Well, alright, so that's about all. Alrighty, today's done. See what tomorrow looks like. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we got a couple days left for this week. This wasn't half bad of a day for, especially with the movement, considering the way that the last 2 days have been, which we did not trade. Plenty of other people did. We just did not do that. Holiday on Monday, not cool for us. It's a funky day usually with certain holidays, just really any holiday. Kind of the same way New Year's was and all that stuff. We didn't trade while they're closed, but then like the following days and whatnot, that week was kind of all messed up. Same thing with Christmas and all that stuff. It was a real weird week with price action. So we tried to just stay away from it. Today it kind of leveled itself out. We'll see what the next 2 days bring. All right, we're done.